Hi, my name is Bruce Tupper. I'm the Fire and Rescue Chief for the town of Raymond, and this video is being made to help present to you the need to replace an apparatus in our fleet. Currently, our Engine 1, or Engine 31, is an aerial ladder truck as well as a pumper, a combination piece. And it allows us to have aerial access to buildings in our town. It is failing. It needs a pump rebuild. It does need to have framework done because of the heavy corrosion that we're experiencing now. So we're proposing a replacement with a similar truck. It'll be more modern, it will have better capabilities, and it will have the Northeast package, so it will be made so that it doesn't rust. It will have galvanized frame rails and a coating, and a frame expectancy for life of about 22 years.
What about the other fire trucks? Don't they carry ladders?
We have engine companies that respond, but they only carry one ladder on them. So this new truck would carry several. It would carry 3 of a size from 35 feet down to 24, as well as 3 roof ladders from 16 feet to 14 feet in length. The aerial ladder itself would be over 100 feet and allow us to have greater reach than we currently experience with our 50-foot truck. So the need to have a ladder truck, not only for structural fires, chimney fires, gas leaks, and things like that, but in the past, in my experience, we've used ladder trucks for technical rescue. We've used them for anchor points during high water, flash flood type rescues where you could swing the ladder around, make access to a vehicle possibly, but more than that, we can get our people out to it without walking through the water, tie off to that vehicle and make a rescue attempt. We've also used ladder trucks for a portable fire tower, if you will, to help locate smokes that you can't see from the ground readily. The state does not have fire towers anymore, and therefore they're not able to triangulate exact locations for us. This is just a couple of the interesting things that we can use these for. I've used them for ice rescue too, to kind of triangulate points, and then you can find your victims a little bit easier. We heavily rely, as all of us do, on mutual aid. But as all of our towns are getting busier and busier and finding that their manpower pool is shrinking more and more, it isn't always available. Counting on mutual aid is not always a good thing. And it's a distance away. So when you have a critical piece of apparatus, such as a ladder truck, needing to make a rescue or access to a fire on a roof or what have you, a chimney fire, waiting 20-25 minutes isn't always your best option and causes a lot more damage and can also cause some safety issues for our people. We're going to try to get up on that roof. We're going to try to do everything we can or in the building to make a rescue. We were at a fire in a commercial building and the fire was on a roof and our truck was out of service for mechanical issues. The neighboring town's truck was out of service, the closest one, and the next nearest one was unable to respond. We had to make access with ground ladders, and when we did, the ladder kicked out because it was placed on the edge of an icy roof. There was no other place to put it. But to get to this roof and put out the fire and save the building, we made that attempt. The ladder kicked, it dumped the firefighter. He dropped about 14 feet and was injured. Not permanently, but enough to take him out of service for that day. That's one of our 3-person crew that's on duty around the clock. So now you've lost 1/3 of your response capability instantaneously. So the ladder truck being there, even if this one was there, we would have been able to put that ladder up. It would not have kicked out. We would have been able to make access to that roof safely.
Deputy Chief Lee O'Connor from the Raymond Fire Department. People want to know why we need a 100-foot ladder truck. I'm going to show you a few examples. A 74-foot or a 54-foot just isn't long enough, and the response times for mutual aid is too long. This is the engine placement, which is ideal for the ladder placement to be. We didn't have that ability. Snowy day, mutual aid coming from a neighboring town with a ladder that was 75 feet was a 30-minute response. We put crews in operation with hose lines. We had a crew that went interior. We didn't have a ground ladder on scene tall enough to reach the roof to do a roof vent. Had we had the ladder in place, our own ladder, with a 100-foot reach, we could have reached where the fire room was in this first double window. The floor was completely gone. We could have put the tip right there and opened up the deck gun into the basement, adding water, dubbing down the fire. Instead, we put an interior crew with hose lines trying to do the work, just wasn't adequate. Crews went around the back to make entry into the basement because it was a basement fire. The second they opened up the door, it gave the fuel and it took off. We were there for 8 hours. We did have 2 firefighters that came under duress. They were superheated and we ruined about $7,000 worth of turnout gear. To review what we just saw, those 30 minutes before an aerial piece was able to arrive on scene, had the initial truck out our door been in aerial, it would have been there within 5 minutes from the time we got the tone. The truck we're looking at, the 100-foot aerial, can be set up by one guy. One guy can set it up and actually deploy the aerial due to the technology. The cameras on the tip, he can aim the gun from the ground and start the flow of water, doing the job that it used to take 3 or 4 guys to do. There's many houses we can't reach because of where we have to set up. Some houses we have to set up from the road. The house is 50 feet off the road. Well, if we had a 54-foot ladder or a 75-foot ladder, we can't reach. We need the 100-foot just to get to the house. It's not the height we care about, it's the reach of the ladder.
When this truck was purchased over 20 years ago, it was a demonstrator truck that was purchased, and we got a really good deal on it at that point in time. A couple of the issues that we've had with it over the years, despite its body being made of aluminum, is that these features, the protection features for the truck itself, weren't available back then. I mean, they did not readily or did not make galvanized frame rails for these trucks back then. We didn't have the engineered coatings that we have now that help prohibit rust and preserve the truck. The pump itself is going to be about the same, and just a cost of doing business sometimes is we have to rebuild the things, and that's where we're at with this truck as well. We have a pump rebuild. The biggest issue we have with it though is we have ladder issues, we have a lot of electronic issues, and we have the frame rot issues going on. Understand the frame rails of these trucks are what holds it together and supports that ladder that may have 700 or 800 pounds of people on the end of it. And this is part of the structure that's engineered to hold that ladder up, and it is failing.
My name is Andrew Jordan. I'm a call captain with the Raymond Fire Department, and today we're going to look at engine 31. As the chief mentioned, there's some concerning issues with this apparatus and its aging. We're going to point out some of those issues today and take a close look at them. So one of our issues we have here is our leaf springs. We have significant frame rot on our frame rails as well as the leaf springs, leading to big concerns with the integrity of the hangers and what might be underneath them. As Chief mentioned, they're unrepairable in the fire service for this to continue to be an aerial apparatus. So another main issue we have are these frame rails. Let's take a look. So this is part of the frame rail, the actual structure of the aerial device, and it's got significant frame rot that's exceeded all the way in. How far we don't know, but it's substantial, starting to split and crack away from the years of use. Additional issues with this apparatus, going along with the pump, the hydraulic system, and electrical system, we have compiled through third-party testing that these issues are a detriment to the safety of the firefighters riding in this apparatus and the lifespan that this can provide to the community.
I mean, first, it's a 22-year-old truck, so it's been used well and maintained, but with this frame rot and all the other issues that we've got, it'll be about $100,000. It could be up to $100,000 to fix it all. A little more, a little less. Now, let's understand that you're really only going to get possibly another 2 years out of it. But let's also look at this part of it. The truck itself, in good condition, resale today is about $25,000 to $35,000 in resale. It's almost like you're throwing good money for bad. At some point with your own vehicle, if it's worth $5,000 and you got to put 7 or 8 into it, you have to make a decision. Is it really worth it to get a couple more years out of it? the biggest thing I see as a safety benefit for everybody. First is driving these things down the road, you now have safety systems built into them, much like your home vehicles do. So you have airbags, they have warning devices and cameras on them to tell you if you're going to hit something. Not only that, but a lot of our apparatus now comes with rollover detection and protection services within. So that helps make it safer for our people. One of the other major things that we would achieve with this other truck is that we're going to increase our reach. Everybody hears 100-foot plus ladder. Oh, you don't need a ladder that big because we don't have skyscrapers. Our buildings aren't even over 4 stories high. Absolutely correct. But our buildings are set back from their driveways. We're building roofs that are voluminous in size. They're just huge. We're putting chimneys through them that we have to access in a chimney fire. And when we do that, we have to make a set to the top of that. If it's 10 feet above the peak of the roof, we can't reach it unless you do have an aerial ladder there. That's a big concern for us. To create or to perform a ventilation operation through a roof, you really need to have the ladder for safety. Remember, we work on icy, snow-covered roofs in high winds, etc. We really do need to have that safety factor so we don't hurt our firefighters. And to make rescues the most important of all, for life safety of the citizens that we serve. Yes, it is an expensive purchase, but you have to remember that this is a 25-year purchase and it's amortized over a 10-year lease purchase agreement. We have to remember too, the impact to the community is not just the things we've talked about already, but the global impact is your insurance rates. We're fortunate that we've achieved a level 4 or class 4, if you will, ISO rating. And the ISO is the Insurance Services Office. They're the ones that rate your fire departments and their capabilities. And then the underwriters of your insurance policies use that data to give you your current rates. So it directly affects the rates that you pay for your insurance. It also affects the ability for some companies to provide that insurance to you. So in a case where your ISO rating is too high and it's a 1 to 10 scale and 1 is the best, they can deny underwriting properties in your community. That doesn't happen here because we are a class 4, which is astounding in a town of our size with the staffing that we have. So in the end, what we've got to consider is that this apparatus, the one we have and the one we need to purchase, not only is a benefit to your average everyday homeowner who has an average size house, all of our schools, our summer camps, which are filled with kids in the summertime, the churches, all the commercial buildings that we have, the Sabre yachts, the dielectrics, and the McMansions that we're building, the huge houses that we're building that are 12 and 14,000 square feet and have very high roof pitches and pitches of roofs that you can't put a ground ladder on or even a roof ladder because they exceed 45 degrees in angle. So it makes it unsafe. Having this ladder will also provide safety or improved safety for those properties and residents. Thank you for watching this video. We appreciate it and appreciate your support. If you want to learn more about our project, please feel free to give us a call. Bruce Tupper, and you can reach me at 655-1187 here at the office, or you can email me at bruce.tupper@raymondmaine.org. And we can set up a time if you want. You can come down and take a peek at the apparatus and see all the other apparatus and talk about the things that we've done. Thank you. I really do appreciate it.